This sound takes me back to younger days and rekindles the feeling of what it was like to cruise the halls and coolly slide from study hall. The smells of the cafeteria remind me of why I went to the deli. The kids tell me how old I am, and I search for some evidence that I left my mark on Cary High.
Well, they probably forgot to put my picture, but it would go right here, probably right next to my next-door neighbor.
Trautwig, you're late.
In gym, they still respect me, and someone even has my old locker. But as I open it, I feel the beauty of high school sports.
It's good.
Again. Madison Square Garden Network presents Coca-Cola High School Sports Week. Good evening. I'm Al Trautwig. Welcome to Coca-Cola High School Sports Week. The soccer field is quiet at Shenendehowa High these days. The Clifton Park School was the victim of an upset. For close to 2 full seasons, the Plainsmen in the white have held the #1 spot in the national high school rankings. But when you're playing your arch rivals, Guilderland High, in front of a packed house for the Section 2 Class A title, anything can happen. And when Jamie DeLuca scored on a penalty kick, Guilderland had done what no team had been able to do against the Plainsmen in 42 tries. They win it 2-0, setting off a wild celebration, knowing full well they are the new top gun in the Empire State.
Feeling pretty good, you know. I just didn't think that my team got all that much respect during the season, and I knew that they were a really fine team, and, you know, they made me very proud tonight because they gave a great account of themselves against a very, very great soccer team. And Shenendehowa, just an excellent soccer team.
Geez, when we scored that first goal, I knew we were going to hold them. It's our 14th shutout this year, school record, and I knew if we get one, we're going to take them. We need to get them behind. That was the key, you know.
From celebrations to complications, high school athletes around this country are well aware that there are plenty of scholastic restrictions on who is allowed to go on to play collegiate sports on scholarship. You must have a GPA of 2.0 and 11 core courses and a 700 combined SAT score. You could still receive aid and sit out your freshman year if the test minimums are not reached. That's Proposition 48. Prop 42, already passed by the NCAA, completely denies financial aid if the minimums are not reached. Opponents to Prop 42, citing that it is discriminating against minorities who may not test well, had until November 1st to enter proposals to alter Prop 42. At the NCAA convention in Dallas beginning January 6th, the following proposals will be voted on. They could repeal Prop 42 and leave Prop 48 as it is. Or they could delay the start date of Prop 42 to August of '92, and there could still be campaigns against it between now and then. They could modify Prop 42, and if you need financial aid, maybe you could still get it. Or, the last proposal, ban both propositions and start from scratch. We'll be watching this closely, and I can tell you that 90% of those athletes already affected by Prop 48 are black. When we come back, it's time for football, and later, everybody in the pool. We'll talk first about football in New York, where Nanuet has claimed at least a share of the League 3A title by recording its 8th straight shutout, a 7-0 win over Byram Hills, which had won 17 straight. Nanuet is doing it all on the road because its stadium is being renovated. Here's Mike Quick with more.
If you were around in 1897, then maybe you happened to see the first ever Port Jervis Middletown football game. Well, if you missed that one, we have number 111 for you. Middletown's Tony Suris, little stepping his way 87 yards for the game's first score. The Port's Matt Palanis looking for a receiver, but no, says Hector Gonzalez, 50 yards the other way, and the Middies roll on, the final 28-7. Let's shoot over to Newburgh. Kingston quarterback Mike Ferraro looking deep, the pump fake, and he finds Ross Gibbs behind the NFA secondary, 66 yards, and the Tigers wouldn't look back. But Ferraro wasn't done. He strikes again, hooking up with his favorite target, Joe Davis, for the 10th time this year. Kingston wins it, the final 30-13. Not even Thanksgiving and snow? Well, that's Syracuse weather for you. Tough football weather. Cicero North Syracuse jumping on top of Liverpool. Cicero North Syracuse up 13-7, but Liverpool comes back. Kyle Carney goes to Dave Sesniak for the gamer, 14-13 Liverpool.
Snow? In Connecticut, a victory and a milestone as still undefeated Trumbull bombed winless Staples High 33-6. That meant win number 200 for longtime coach Jerry McDougal. Earl Lavery at Fairfield Prep is the only other active coach at that plateau. Here's Mike again with highlights.
A good one between New Canaan and Darien. Darien quarterback Paul Fiorita buying time, finds Scott Buckley knotting things at 7 in the third. 5.5 minutes left in the game. New Canaan quarterback Tom McInerney on the option keeper breaks one tackle, then outraces the entire Blue Wave defense, 61 yards for the 14-7 lead. But Surf was up on this day as far as the Wave was concerned. Todd Carenti, 10 yards, making it 14-13. Darien goes for 2. Fiorita finds Glenmore, and the Blue Wave now controls their own playoff destiny. Speaking of playoff destiny, that's what was on the line in Danbury Saturday night when Norwalk came to town. Danbury's Tim Smith struck first. It's now 14-0 Danbury, but Bear quarterback Rob Callahan goes upstairs in a big way. 75 yards to Greg Taylor to cut the lead in half. But Danbury was just too strong on this night. Robin Parkinson, one of his 2 scores as the Hatters roll 35-19.
Last week, 5 TDs for Lacey's Keith Elias put him in our spotlight. This week, 6 more. Adelphia Cable's Steve McGullum files this report.
Football for me is like a release of energy. Like it's a place where you can come and be really intense. And I don't know. I just think if there was no football, I think athletes end up some kind of correctional institution.
That is the irreverent view of the gridiron, courtesy Lacey's Keith Elias. On Friday, Elias displayed his serious side, running for an unofficial state record 395 yards in last week's 35-13 defeat of Freehold Township.
It was a fine performance. It's kind of like a natural thing for him, it seems. He's a workhorse type of kid. It seems he gets stronger during the course of the game. So it didn't seem like anything special to me. And I don't even think it's anything special to him. It was just another day at the job, so to speak.
It was nice to break a record, you know, and get a lot of attention now to like the teammates and all because of it. So I guess that was a good part about it. But it doesn't mean anything like different for like the way I'm going to prepare for the next game or anything.
It was great because it made our job that much easier. Because the last game, you know, he didn't get too many yards, so he was kind of mad at us. So we worked that much harder.
But it can't get much better than this, can it? Through 6 games, Elias has 1,280 yards and 18 touchdowns. You would think he's having the time of his life. Maybe now, but that wasn't the story just a few weeks ago.
In the beginning of the year, I was having a lot of problems dealing with the pressure. But, you know, a lot of guys on the team and you know, my family, my older brother, they just, you know, they stuck by me and they talked to me a lot. And now it's just like it was last year. Football is like the funnest thing in the world.
Despite all of the attention Elias has been receiving, let's keep in mind he's not the whole show. The undefeated Lions are the defending state champs and appear to be on a collision course with undefeated Woodrow Wilson of Camden, the team they beat for the South Jersey Group 3 title last year, a moment that tops Elias's hit parade.
Definitely. It even beat, you know, last Friday night, like you say. Being a record was big, but being a state champion, you never forget it. It's the greatest experience.
Another former Spotlight honoree, Middletown South Stephen Pitts, had a big day as well, scoring 7 times on only 13 carries as the Eagles crushed Hillsborough 51-12. Pitts handed the game ball over to his offensive lineman. Mike has more from the Garden State.
At Southern High School, Rick went to the trick. Mike DeTata on the halfback option finds Robert Collins, who makes the great catch for the 7-0 lead. The Green Dragons still breathing fire in the final quarter. Chris Velez, nice piece of running, 56 yards to help Brick improve to 5-1-1 with the 14-0 victory. Hackettstown in the white as time's running out in the first half. Harold Atkins pulls in from 6 yards out. The point after's no good. Third quarter now. Warren Hills quarterback Rusty Sloan, nice effort. Give him the touchdown. The point after's good, and the Blue Streaks take it 10-6. New Jersey fans remember Joe Theisman. Well, maybe not. It was Theisman back then.
Year-old Ray Texel of Wayside, New Jersey dreams of being an equestrian Olympian in 1996. That dream is a step closer after his win in the Rolex McClay National Championship at the Meadowlands. He is only the 10th person in history to win that event and the AHSA National Hunter Seat Equitation Medal Championship in the same year. In New Jersey girls tennis, congratulations to Milburn coach Elliot Lovey, who found a way to survive graduating 3 All-State players, then come back and win a second straight all-groups title, beating Red Bank Catholic 3-2. Staying in New Jersey but switching to gymnastics, a dynasty has come to an end as Cherokee High edged Lenape by 3.95 points to claim the South Jersey League Championship title, a title Lenape had cornered for 3 years. Both teams entered the meet undefeated. In New Jersey boys soccer, the pain of 39 straight losses by the McCorriston Iron Mikes has been eased as a result of their 2-1 win over Allentown. Coach Brian McKee summed it up by saying, "Finally." Here's our own Iron Mike.
The Essex County soccer final had 2 of Jersey's best going at it. Number 1, St. Benedict's in the red, and number 5, Columbia, in a rematch of last year's final that Columbia won. St. Benedict's got sweet revenge when Chris Cotton sends a bullet home for the game's only goal. Cotton's 14th goal of the year keeps St. B's perfect in 19 tries. In the Essex County girls final, Columbia was more fortunate. All-state forward Linda Hawks, number 10, putting the finishing touches on a great week. 12 goals in 3 games, picked up 2 in this one against Bloomfield. Hawks notching career goal 108 through traffic. I'm telling you, she can play. Columbia's 3rd consecutive title, 3-1. In New York, the Section 9 Class A girls final, a rematch of the Orange County American Conference final between Monroe, Woodbury, and Washingtonville. The league title went to Monroe. This one goes to Washingtonville on shootouts. Credit goalie Debbie Osborne with some clutch saves as Washingtonville takes it 2-1. More good news for the nation's number 10 team. Tuesday night, they beat New York's number 1 team, Union Endicott, 2-1 in opening round Class A play.
There was wind and rain and mud in Danbury for the final of the FCAC playoffs, and in the end, Gene Kelly would have loved seeing New Canaan singing in that rain after they defeated Greenwich 3-0 to win the title that they also won 2 years ago. Surprisingly, the two had played to a scoreless tie only a week earlier. In Connecticut cross country, they said, here's mud in your eye as well for the cross country state open championships. The boys' title went to the Staples Wreckers, who beat Xavier, and the girls' champ is Bethel, a winner over St. Bernard's. Is there anything happening at your school that's cool? A chance now for you to be a camera person for us because you are VHS. That's right, you are. Get it on tape and send it our way. 17 Wilmot Lane, Riverside, Connecticut, 06878. We'll be right back.